Hello and welcome to the Think Tank. I'm Pastor Devin. Thanks so much for joining us today. Yesterday we talked about weakness. You know, every human being has some sort of weakness. I know we're not, God created us, but we all have something where we just don't do so well at. And for everybody it's different. Sometimes we look at that as being a problem in a life. You know, Jesus says in the Bible that my strength is glorified in your weakness. What's that mean? That means that our weak areas, what happens is then God can bless those areas and do things for us. We can realize, hey, God is with us because he's blessing us. And here's the thing. Maybe your weakness really never was a weakness to begin with, but a chance for God to show his glory through you. I told this story yesterday in church about this boy, and he went to a judo class. And what happened was he had been in a car accident and he lost his left arm. Yeah, my left arm. Yeah, sounds like my right, so my left's mixed up. And so he was in the class for about 3 months, and the teacher had only taught him one move. He went to the teacher and said, hey, you're only teaching me this one move. What good is that going to do? And he said, just trust me. You know, sometimes in life we just got to trust God and see what he's doing. And so the boy goes another few months, and the instructor signs him up for a tournament. And the boy goes, I'm not ready. I only know one really big move. And how am I going to do in this tournament? He says, oh, you'll be fine. You know, God says that to us sometimes. God, I can't do this. I'm weak in this one area. I only know a little bit of something. What's God say? You'll be fine. Trust God. So he goes to the tournament, right? He wins his first 2 matches pretty easily. Gets to the third match, it's a little tougher, but he wins it again. All of a sudden, he finds himself in the finals. And the opponent he's playing is very experienced, he's bigger, he's stronger. And sometimes we look at situations in the world and we think they're bigger and stronger than us. But you know what? It doesn't matter because God's on your side. If God's on your side, you're going to be okay. So during the match, things are going not so well for the boy. And and the ref is thinking about stopping the fight, and so they call timeout, and he goes over to his sensei, and his sensei says, you can do it. And he goes there, if the boy will be fine, just let him keep going. So the match continues, and all of a sudden, the bigger boy makes a critical mistake, and there's an opening for the boy to use his one move that he knows. And he uses the move and pins the other guy to the mat and wins the tournament. On the way home, he says, Sensei, how the world I win with only pretty much knowing one move? And the guy said a couple things. He said this, the first reason why you won is because you spent time mastering that one move. You know, sometimes in Christianity, we get so flustered because we think we got to master everything. God says, you know what? Just work on what I want you to work on and let me do all the rest. Sometimes I think we get too worried about everything else going on. Just do what God asked you to do. He said, second of all, the move that you learn only has one defense. And that defense is your opponent, in order to beat you on that move, has to be able to grab your left arm, which you don't have. See, the boy's weakness became the boy's greatest strength. You know, sometimes we look at our weaknesses and we go, God, take our weaknesses away. But I think that's the reason why we don't get our prayers answered in that way. Instead of asking God to take your weakness away, say, God, show your glory through my weakness. As Paul says in Corinthians, I glory in my weaknesses. He doesn't say, hey, look, I'm a weakling. Isn't that great? He goes, no, I allow God to move through that and provide the strength where I don't have the strength. And people can go, wow, look what God is doing. And what's the greatest benefit? Is then God has to move through you and with you for you to overcome that weakness, and you get to feel the presence and experience the glory of God in your life first, that then can benefit others. What an amazing thing. And so why does God do it that way? Well, you know why. Because Jesus loves you. I love you, and you are awesome.